Good evening, Fáilte. Welcome to Live Irish Myths, episode number 50, Ceacht Iver a Chuige, with myself, Anthony Murphy of Mythical Ireland. What a delight to have you all along and join us in Teach Mhór this evening for more ancient Irish lore and knowledge and fasa and, story time and places and all that sort of stuff. I hope you're all keeping safe and well and that everybody is in good form. Pat Rowan is the first of the Facebookers to watch tonight, or to come up on the screen as watching. Fáilte a fáric chuna sa tátu machara. On YouTube, Erica Bao was the first commenter at 7:30 from Subolo, Texas. I must look that up. I can't pronounce it. Erica, you're very welcome. Daisy Peter says, hi, Anthony, and everyone. Have a beautiful and blessed afternoon/evening. Always ready for one more fantastic episode, as are we. And it's lovely to have you along, Daisy. Fáilte. Erica Rivertree says, Banachty o Louisville, Kentucky. August Banachty o Ndrehedaha Condaloo. To you, Erica. Heard a shot, who is Tom King, says, kettle on the boil, time for the tea. Evening, Anthony, and one and all. Looking forward to story time. Always a great pleasure to have you along, Tom. Great to see you. Aria Ivanchich Art says, good evening/afternoon/morning. And I suppose it is like that. Jim Carrey, what movie was that? Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Because we have viewers in all time zones. Mandy McCurl says, hello, everyone from a damp and chilly Isle of Mull. Giagrich, Mandy. The Piper is playing for the NHS right now. Brilliant stuff. And we applaud them for their excellent and fantastic work. Tina Trana says, much love from Moscow, Idaho. Fáilte, Tina, lovely to have you along. Megan Walter says, happy Bealtaine to you all. And indeed, that is a subject to which we will get on to very, very shortly. Pat Rowan, as I said, is in the house. Hello, Pat. Linda Nolan says hello from Arizona. Fáilte, Linda. Margaret Ring is in the house. Good evening. Giaglitch, Margaret. Nice to chat to you again. I hope you got sleep last night. The Big 50 says, Bara o Morahi. DH, how do you lenite? Lenition. That's something I'm learning at the moment. Barra, you're very welcome. Lorna Evers Monaghan says hello. Is in the house. Tracy O'Connor is also in the house. Says hi all. Hi. Indeed, Laura McCormick. Fáilte tua joy time from a rainy Killinall. Well, it did lots of rain here today too, but sure, look, the grass needs it and the flowers need it. Helen Langley is in Portland in Oregon and is watching this evening, or as it's probably there noon. So should I say good afternoon? It being a few minutes after noon in Oregon. Hello, Helen. Aaron Pixie Cusick says hello. Happy May Eve. Vanachty. Ta Fáilte Roat. Aaron Yvette Tillema says greetings from Keene in New York. Rain but not snow, so there is progress in New York. Henry Scullion. Hi from the outskirts of Lurgan in County Armagh. Hello, Henry. Fáilte. Susan Mullen Lacerna says, loved the picture of Cody the Coyote, or Coda. Hi from Raleigh, North Carolina. Hello, Susan. Patricia McAteer is watching. Michael Naylor, Mike and Jeanette in Princeton, New Jersey are tuned in and ready for some lore. Barb Jordan says hello. Giaglitch Barb. Jack Durkin says hi, everyone. Giaglitch Jack. Judy McQueen says hello again. And Fáilte Arish. Arashagas Arish. John McAndrew says, hello, Anthony. And hello to you, John. Shannon Winokur is in the house, says the Truman Show. Yes, of course, the Truman Show. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hi, Shannon. Hope you are keeping well. Lovely to see you. And Henry indeed says Truman Show as well. Alan Bryett, Anthony and Tua, greetings from brilliant stuff, Alan. Maureen O'Leary, hello from a bright and sunny northwest Minnesota, where farmers are still waiting for the fields to dry for spring work. I feel left out of the plot when so much is hidden in an ancient language. So truly appreciate episode 50. Thanks to your reading on Anya yesterday. I found and reported to National Monument Service a possible stone circle in the Loch Gur area. Great knowledge in your selections and feedback from the two. Brilliant stuff, Maureen. Keep us informed about that. That sounds very exciting. Aaron says that was the Truman Show, filmed an hour from my home. Wow. Patricia McAteer, heavy showers here in Omead. Yes, indeed, Patricia, we're having the same weather here in the south of the county. Grace Walker says hello again. Giagwich Grace. Liam Mann says hello from Den Haag in the Netherlands. Hello, Liam. Barbara Kling is saying hello to everyone. Looking forward to more Scéalta, and aren't we all? Barbara Barney says hi, Anthony. Giagwich Barbara. Dave Russell, The Truman Show. Thanks, Dave. Margaret Ring, happy Bealtaine Eve to all the Tua. And indeed to you, Margaret, as well. Ralph Waldron is in Ath League, the Furvolog and the Tua de Dannon were all we were told about in school. Well, you had a good school teacher, or you had a good school. We didn't get so much of that in Drogheda, Ralph. Christine Meve says, good evening from Belgium. Lovely to have you along, Krista. Very, very nice to have you in the house. Fáilte. Jim Conway in Lurgan. Did you get my email? I don't think I did, Jim. I'm not sure that I did. I'll check afterwards. And just in case it went into my spam, which sometimes happens unintentionally. Michael Kisser says hi. Giagwich Michael, very nice to have you along. Lee Trabal says hello. Fáilte. Lee. Deirdre A. Magner says hello from Maryland. Always nice to have the Marylanders in the house. Desiree Riley. Oh my God, that picture of Coda was too much. He is so cute. And thank you, Anthony, for your lovely letter to the MythFlix Tua. Your seed of kindness grew into a mighty grove of friendship and love. Well, yeah, I typed that on my typewriter. I actually, yes. Oh, sure, look. Sure, while we're at it, you know. I keep everything I type, you know. It's nice to have a physical sort of, isn't it, like a physical remnant of something rather than typing it on a keyboard into a screen. There is the letter. Yeah, great pleasure to type that up today. Who would have thought? Here we are already at episode 50. I mean, the time has flown. It's basically been 7 weeks since the first COVID-19 restrictions were announced here. And it looks like the news reports are suggesting that it's going to go on for at least another couple of weeks. What can we do except for, you know, gather around the fire and tell stories? Liz, thanks for your kind words, Desiree. Lovely to see you, as always. Liz Pierce says, good evening from the land of the British Brigantes. Hello, Liz. Fáilte. Cy B says, hi-de hi. Giagwich, Cy. Margaret Ring. Haha, just about, Anthony. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can imagine. Margaret Kiernan. May Eve. Hello to all the fairies. Hello, Margaret. Megan Walters says, flowers. And looks like a shamrock, but it's a four-leafed clover. There you go. Megan, may it bring you lots of luck. Dave Russell, much love from Londonderry, Anthony. The London is silent. I'm not even going to go there. Pat Rowan is saying hello to all the Tua. Mariana Dunn, happy 50th MythFlix to the Tua. Chris McCann, I'll make it a hat trick for Lurgan Ardvacha. Hope Tua all well. Brilliant stuff. All the Lurganites are in the house. This is fantastic. June Crane says hello from Raleigh in North Carolina. Fáilte, June, lovely to have you along. Louise Sherrill says hello, Giagwich. Mark Ledger, morning and g'day to all from Townsville, tropical North Australia. Brilliant stuff. A very good morning to you, Mark. Cooree McDoragh, hello. August Tussa Fain, Cooree, welcome. Fáilte. Roisin O'Connor Lawrence, hello from Drizzly Brighton. Well, he's away again. He thinks he owns the place, that dog. Hello, Roisin. Henry Paddy Shearman is in the house. Hello, Giagwich, Henry. Adina Sparks. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all healthy and safe. Yes, indeed. So far, so good. Thalia Brown says hello from Glastonbury to everyone at this Bealtaine Eve. Hello, Thalia. Paul Gowan, Tome Arash Arish. Hello, Tua and friends. Fáilte, Paul. Megan Walters. Lucky, bright and sunny weather here in Mississippi. Fantastic. Nick Eska Casterton says hi, Anthony, and all the Tua. Fáilte, Nick. Lovely to see you again. Mellow Nello, whose name is really Neil, who's feeling quite mellow. Hello, Anthony. Hello, Tua. Look forward to this evening. Brilliant stuff. Nice to have you along, Neil. Maeve Fiona Callahan is in Portland, Oregon, the second Portlander in the house this evening. Love to have you along, Maeve. Alex Casterton is wishing everybody a happy Bealtaine Eve. But I'm going to have comments about that momentarily. Jack Durkin, hope you are safe too. Kathy May Deo says, good evening in Mythical Ireland from Newcastle, Washington State, USA. Another Washington Stater in the house. Brilliant. Peter Grealish says, hello from the town of Harvard, Massachusetts. You're very welcome along, Peter. Okay, Jim, I'll follow that up later on. Katrina is in the house and says, Litcher Allen. Thank you, Katrina. Glad you enjoyed it. Megan Walters. Oh, it's getting fiery. Yes. So Katrina is sharing links for tonight's. Yes, no, we'll get on to that. Mark Casey, Trononowa, Anthony, that book looks like a game changer. Indeed. It's interesting to say the least. McDonald's is opening in mid-May, says Jack Durkin. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a McDonald's now, I tell you. Aaron Durrett is watching. Hi, Aaron. Liam Smith, greetings from the far side. And that is a reference, colloquial reference to Drogheda being a town that straddles the Boyne River. And if you're from the north side, you refer to the south siders as the far side. And same if you live on the south side, you refer to the other side as the far side. That's how it's pronounced colloquially, the far side. Jacek Miros is in Warsaw in Poland. Jacek, very nice to have you along. Fáilte. Helen P. Guinan is in the house. Your Majesty, very nice to have you along. Lábui Bealtana Mórach got dinner. Not quite. Well, yes, it is the month of May, but hold that thought for a second. Caitlin Moon, happy 50th to us all. So fitting that it is today. Yeah, actually, it's a funny that one, isn't it? We're on the verge of May, and we're on 50 days. Paula Bernard AP Daffyd says, your spirit is the best. Look forward every day. Thank you, Paula. That's lovely. Thanks. Toshik Holland, and you're very welcome. Terry Lynn says, much excitement to see you all on the eve of Bealtaine from Colorado. Lovely to have you along, Terry Lynn, as usual. Joan Rankin, hello all from CB Island. Hello, Joan. Grace Walker, hi again, Facebook wonky. Blessings to all. Don't forget that we are also live on YouTube, on youtube.com/Mythical Ireland. Aaron Durrett says, Vashon Island here. Big hugs to all, and big hugs all returned. Ali Cat says, Fáilte from Portland. Now, is that another Portlander from Oregon, or is that Portland in Maine, Alley Cat? Monica Regley says, you're welcome either way, by the way. Monica says, hello from Zug in Switzerland. Hello, Monica. Fáilte. Therese Donnelly Conderla. Looking forward to hearing some great stories today. Well, I hope so. Sorry, Tressa. Donna Jean Porter saying hi. Jigrich, Donna. Jules Cousins says hello. Hello, Jules. Always a great pleasure. Gillian Gogarty is watching. I'll open the window and say hello. Hi. Hiya, Gillian. Can you see me? Oh, there's another nice sky coming out there. May 12th comments. Why don't I have a proper shamrock? I don't know. We'll have to tell the Facebookers that we need a proper shamrock. Martin Smith says hello from Haslemere in Surrey. Lovely to have you along, Martin. Tressa says, okay. Susan Bain Williams says, greetings, celebrating 50, and we're just getting started. Anita Foss says hello from Norway. Fáilte. Trononowa, Anita. Paul Gowan says hello. Giaguch, Paul. Giaguch a pole or a foal. Gail Farley. Merry Bealtaine to all. Remember to jump the fire for health. Brilliant. Did you know that people are actually selling Happy Meals on eBay? I wonder will they be hot when they arrive? Scott Gracie is in the house. Hello, Scott. Deborah Alland is in Wisconsin in the USA. Giaguch. And Ali Cat says it's Oregon. It's Portland, Oregon. That's at least 3 Portland Oregoners in the house. Gillian Gogarty says hello. Gillian. Louis Miguel Almeida is saying hello from Lisbon. Oh, very nice to have you along, Louis. Or Lewis. Fáilte. Jennifer Foley says hello, everyone. Giarif. And on YouTube, Brian O'Brien says hello from Portland, Oregon. All of the Portland Oregoners are watching. Nobody's doing anything in Portland today because they're all sitting watching YouTube and Facebook. Excuse me. Megan Walters is switching to Facebook. Aria Ivanchich Art says happy Bealtaine to everyone. Daisy Peters is also saying happy Bealtaine to everyone. Girl, who is Elizabeth, says happy afternoon from a rainy day in Bozeman, Montana. Always lovely to have the Montanans in the house. Elizabeth, you're very welcome along. Irish Technical Thinker. Good evening from Belfast. Thank you for doing these magical tales of old. You're very welcome, and it's great to have you along. Josie Weatherford is in Austin, in Texas, presently catching up on past episodes as well. Good to see you, and it's a great pleasure to have you along, Josie. Grace Walker, should I say, I have McDonald's not far from the home here. I wish I could send you all who want a bit. Yeah, not to worry. We'll get them before too long. And she's in Lindenhurst in New York. Aaron Eckhart says, hello, with lots of O's at the end. Hello, Giagwich, Aaron. Paddy McComoyle says, Tranona wa gach dina o Glasgow. You're very, very welcome along, Podgy Falcha. Right. Now, I think it's about time So just before we get started proper on the episode, and I have to take note of the time as usual, just to say that, yes, tomorrow is Bealtaine, as in the month of May. What tomorrow is not not the traditional celebration of the Festival of Bealtaine, because the Festival of Bealtaine traditionally coincides with the cross-quarter day, and that is measured in days between the solstices and the equinoxes. In this case, Bealtaine is the cross-quarter day at the halfway point in days between the vernal equinox, which is in March, and the summer solstice, which is in June. And this year, the correct date of Bealtaine for those of us in Ireland is at 00:49 minutes into the 5th of May, which is next Tuesday, is it, or is it Wednesday? It's Tuesday. Okay. Now, there are 3 special episodes coming up to mark Bealtaine. I'll be doing an episode about Bealtaine itself. I will probably do that on the evening of May the 4th, which is Monday evening, because that would be considered May Eve or Bealtaine Eve. So we're going to talk about Bealtaine and its significance. We're going to talk about all the customs and festivities around it, and we're going to talk about mentions of it in mythology. The following day, I'm going to do an episode on Uisneach. Now, Uisneach is the place where the Bealtaine fire was held long, long ago, where in recent years said fire has been reinitiated. Now, as you know, there's a fire festival there that's been held every year since, I think, 2012, which is not happening this year because of the COVID lockdown. But we will be doing an episode on Uisneach. And what I might do that evening, which is the 5th, so we'll do Bealtaine as the 4th, we'll do Uisneach on the 5th, and on the next day, on the 6th, we will do an episode about Eru. And she's the tutelary goddess who is in triplicate form, Ban Bafola Eru, who gives her name to Ireland, 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 and who is said to be buried at Uisneach. So we've got 3 sort of episodes that will relate to the whole Bealtaine theme. On the evening of the 5th, what I'm proposing to do is, when I'm finished, I'm going to light a fire here in my chimney in the backyard. And I will, after finishing the live episode here, I will reinitiate a live episode, a live broadcast from out there, where we will light the fire. And I invite you all to do the same, wherever you are in the world, to light a little fire if you can. If you have room, if you have a yard or a garden or somewhere that you can light a small fire safely. If not, if you want to light a candle in your house, we'll all light a fire or a candle together to celebrate Bealtaine and to mark the fact that although the great festival and celebration at Uisneach is not going to happen this year because of COVID-19, that we may spark a flame of hope, as it were. And of course, that we may use the event also to commemorate those who have lost their lives to this horrible virus, and also to pay to those who are fighting it on the front lines, the emergency services and the nurses and doctors and all those working in the medical profession and the nursing homes, etc., etc. So we're going to have a good few days in the early part of next week centered on the traditional date of Bealtaine. At the moment, I don't have any difficulty with you all wishing each other a happy Bealtaine Eve. But just be aware that the beginning of May does not correspond exactly with the ancient festival of Bealtaine. I hope I've cleared that up without annoying you. Laura Adomitroy says, good evening, Tranonawa. A very interesting topic. Thank you. Scott Gracie says, Sláinte and Sláinte to you also. Okay, so you probably looked at today's episode title and said, Onomasticon Goedelicum. What the hell is that? I have to admit that several years ago, probably 15 or 16 or 17 years ago now, when I first saw it, I was exactly the same. I was like, what is Onomasticon Goedelicum? Well, as it happens, there's an easier way to pronounce it, which is Onomasticon Goedelicum. Now, onomastics is the study of the origin of proper names, so names pertaining to places and to people or tribes. This work, which I'm going to dedicate this evening's episode to, is a source that would be up there at least with Joyce's place names in 3 volumes that we covered in the first episode of the Mythical Ireland library tour. Now, I hope that you all saw today the links. You can download this and browse it as a PDF with me as we go through this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to paste the link to the downloadable PDF. There it is on YouTube. And I'm going to paste it in on Facebook. Hopefully you'll have a chance to download it. This is a fabulous resource. Imagine that just to describe what it is, first of all, it is a book that was published in 1910, written and compiled by Edmund Hogan, who I think was a priest. I'm pretty sure he was a priest, actually. He was also a member of the Royal Irish Academy and very well read in matters of Irish language and literature, etc., etc. It's said to be based upon the work of John O'Donovan, who had surveyed Ireland in the 1830s, before the famine, to find as much information as possible pertaining to the origins of the place names of Ireland. And of course, O'Donovan's work survives in the forms of all those place name letters from the Ordnance Survey, which have been published in book form and in various, archaeological journals over the years. Now, Hogan was obviously a bit of a polymath and a singular individual who dedicated a huge amount of time to creating this wonderful, wonderful text. Now, what this is basically an encyclopedia or an index of place names and tribe names and family names from Ireland, and it's extremely comprehensive. And what it does is it gives you all the sources for each of those places. So wherever a particular place or a tribe or a name is mentioned in a manuscript, that manuscript is listed as an abbreviation. Now, one thing that I have to caution you about Onomasticon Goedelicum is that Hogan's abbreviations are quite comprehensive, to the extent that it's very difficult to read it because you constantly have to refer to the front of the book looking for the abbreviations. And of course, he uses some abbreviations which he does not explain. And I've heard it said that his abbreviation system is quite eccentric from that point of view. Now, yesterday, you may have heard me mention in the episode yesterday that a new arrival had come to the Mythical Ireland library. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed it in the background. I don't know to what extent some people are a bit weird like this, you know. I don't know. Yes, Mark Kavanagh says 2,943 pages. Well, that is the digital version. But if you've been studying the background, I'm not sure if you saw the new arrival. But anyway, let's pull it out and have a look. You can spot it from a mile off because it's bigger and older than everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Onomasticon Goedelicum. And I'm pleased to say that it is pristinely preserved. It is in beautiful, sublimely fabulous condition. Onomasticon Goedelicum Lorocum et Tribum Hiberniae et Scotiae, an index with identifications to the Gaelic names of places and tribes by Edmund Hogan, S.J. He's a Jesuit, isn't he? S.J. is Jesuit. Dublin, Hodges, Ficus and Company Limited. London, Williams and Norgate, 1910. Now, I bought this from a rare bookseller based in County Dublin. What I can tell you is that this copy was the personal property of an Irish scholar and writer and poet who I have a huge amount of respect for. I can't name them. I don't think it's appropriate to name them because they're still alive, and you know, that sort of information is generally private, you know. But the bookseller told me whose property this was, and all I can say to you is that it is an extreme honor for me to be in the ownership of this, and perhaps someday in the not too distant future, I will actually tell you whose copy it was. But all I can say is that this scholar looked after things so well, because look, it's just, there is a single fold or tear or crinkle or dog ear or coffee stain or tobacco stain or burn mark or you know, there's, or grooves or anything. There's nothing. This book has been extremely well looked after. So what I propose to do is to examine some of the place names, some of those actually that we've encountered recently, and perhaps some of those that we're going to encounter in future episodes. So during the yesterday evening after last night's episode and today, I've been carefully making note of several place names that I think will be interested in exploring and just giving a little for them. Now, if at some point you think of a place name from a myth that you perhaps want some information on, or you'd like to hear this, you'd like me to look up, then prompt me. Of course, if you have the PDF in front of you, you can do likewise. Now, the difference between the printed version and the PDF is that what the PDF does is it lengthens out some of the abbreviations, making it a little bit easier on the PDF version. Certainly, making it a little bit easier to follow things. Now, I'm going to actually open the PDF version here myself. Aren't we so lucky? I mean, you know, all of these wonderful scholars who dedicated their own lifetimes. And I immediately think of P.W. Joyce, John O'Donovan, Rudolph Thornyson, the likes of R.A.S. McAllister, Hogan. All of these geniuses, these people who are very, very gifted, who devoted, it seems, huge amounts of their lifetimes to unraveling ancient mysteries and to bringing to us today an effort, and a very laudable effort, to translate and to give life to all of those stories again. But the actual length or the extent of the printed book is not far off 700 printed pages, and you can just see how much detail there is on each page. I mean, this is an incredible piece of work. It's fabulous. So anyway, let's make a little bit of a beginning. Let's open. I'm going to open up that just to have it. Onomasticon text. That's the PDF. And I gave you the link to that. Hopefully, even if you're not downloading it and reading it now, hopefully you'll download it and add it to your digital library. I have an extensive digital library, and I'm very glad to say that I have, because it's invaluable. So I've been dipping in and out of Onomasticon over the years in digital form, and it's lovely to finally have the printed form. The same with the Dindshenachus. I have most of the volumes of the Dindshenachus now, and Laura Gowalla, which we did 2 episodes on there about the Tuatha Dé Danann, I have 3 or 4 volumes of, and it's always just something special, you know, to have the physical form on your desk. So the first of tonight's places of exploration, we are going to go to page 20 of the printed book. We're going to talk about Isle na Mirren, and hopefully I'll type that in. Type that in on YouTube and Facebook. Hopefully some of you are familiar with it. Katrina, you'll be familiar with it. Any of you Midlanders will be familiar with it, I'm sure. Isle na Mirren. Now, I need to find it in each case. Isle na Mirren, or Lac na Goega. And I believe that means the stone of divisions. Goega, the provinces were called Coega in Irish, i.e. 1/5. I.e. Ishnach, the mere stone on the hill of Ishnach, and again, why I added this in, it's relevant to episodes that are coming up in the next few days. The Bishop of Meath is called, according to Camden, the Bishop of Isle na Mirren, and that's something I didn't know, or of Lac na Goega. It is called Onomasticon because it is the boundary stone between the provinces from which parts have been taken to form Meath. Onomasticon, the cliff or stone on the hill of Uisneach, where the 5 provinces, meet or met. This stone was at the castle of Killary, according to Gerald Barry. So Onomasticon is that very famous stone, also called the Cat Stone, at Uisneach, which not only marks the meeting of the provinces, but is said itself to represent a 5th province, a magical, mystical, a portal maybe to another realm. Underneath it, according to tradition, Era is said to be buried. But we will get to that in an episode in a couple of days' time. And so the next on the list is one that you'll have heard me mention on a few occasions, and that is Cletchuk. And Cletchuk, until the 20th century, apparently, the scholars weren't always sure where that lay. And sometimes, despite their devotion to their scholarship, even the very best of the scholars get things wrong. And one of the things that was got wrong was the location of Brunabonia, which some scholars speculated to be located at Stacallan Bridge between Slane and Navan, when in fact it was plainly obvious to many people in the vicinity that in fact it referred to the great monuments that we know today as the Bend of the Boyne monuments at Newgrange, Nouth and Douth. Cletchuk is the one where Elkmar was sent to after he was deposed or kicked out of Shion Vru or Newgrange by Angus in Tuchmark Ethane. Cletchuk atá lecht murcharti for Taib Cletchuk Anurti. Now, I don't quite understand what the language is saying here, but I believe Lech Murcharti means the burial place of Murcharti, whoever he was, for Taib Cletchuk, over the side of Cletchuk, over the Boyne. Now, sorry, I need to get my thoughts together. The abbreviation Lech, I think, is the Yellow Book of Lecan. And again, in order for me to find that out, I have to go to the front of the book to the abbreviations and confirm that Lech is indeed, yes, it is the Book of Lecan. In Ormond, Tipperary, so called by M. Kearney in 1635. So there you go. Near Shida Imbroga. So quite obviously, it's near Newgrange. Just making sure I'm not missing. Donna Kay says hello from Greer, South Carolina. Fáilte, Donna. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. And Katrina is helping us by pasting in the information. And the 55th episode will be on the 5th. Very interesting, yes. And we'll be doing our Uisneach celebration that evening. All the 5s. There's something significant about that. Okay. Os Ur Navonia agus Os Ur an Vroga, where O'Donovan adds, south of the Boyne near Stacallan Bridge, which he's completely wrong about, but O'Curry says, on north of the Boyne near the Bridge of Slane, and Brunabonia on a height called Ucht Cletchy, where Murchartic was drowned in a butt of wine. Talk about somebody who was perhaps suffering from excesses. Kimberly Fields Sipila says hello from Silverdale, Washington. Not related to Yak, a slab. Yeah, but Lecht, isn't Lecht like a stone, but a stone that particularly marks a grave? Am I wrong about that? Please, Katrina, and anyone who's more learned than me with the Irish, please feel free to correct me. Lecht, let me just look it up in the EDIL. Lecht, a grave, tomb, or sepulchral monument or resting place. But anyway, in relation to the location of Cletchuk, apparently it wasn't very well known. But the one author and a scholar who unraveled its location purely from the myths and the various myths that describe it was Elizabeth Hickey. who wrote this beautiful little book, I Send My Love Along the Boyne, with illustrations by the artist Nano Reid. This was originally published in 1966, and was actually republished locally by Anya ní Charbara of Carberry's Pub in Drogheda in the year 2000. And myself and Richard Moore were able to make a contribution to that, because on the inside cover, there's Richard's depiction of the swan at Newgrange, and words about the significance of Cygnus over Brunabonia, and that was 20 years ago. But Hickey was the one who was able to work out its exact location from the various descriptions in mythology, and it in fact is located where Rossnaree House stands today. And if you have read Mythical Ireland, New Light on the Ancient Past, my book published in 2017, you'll know that I have a chapter about it in there, and I have certain speculation about it that's worth following up. I don't think that's available to buy new. I think the original was a limited print run, and the reprint was a limited print run. You may be able to get secondhand copies. Katrina is sharing a link there, what you call it, an Amazon link. Presumably that's a secondhand copy. Katrina, I wonder how much they are. And next on the list, oh yeah, Slieve Bra, 600, page 605. Now, Slieve Bra was a place that was of interest to me in Island of the Setting Sun, and if you've read Island, you'll know why, and if you haven't, you have to go and read Island of the Setting Sun. Slieve Bra, the exact location of it was apparently a bit of a mystery, and it took a little bit of scholarship to work out. Near Monaster Boyce, near Monaster Boyce, also Slieve na Con, south of Dundalk, between Mellifont and Dundalk, a little north of Mellifont. Mellifont was in Mraev, which is basically in the plain known as Brega or Bra, B-R-E-A-G-H. Slieve Bra, on the border of PP, Grange, Geeth and Killary. I presume that means the parishes of Grange, Geeth and Killary, northwest of Slane in Meath. Slieve Bray, running from Clogherhead, Louth to Rathkenny in Meath. And that's very important, because it was said that Trog Balya, which is in the first chapter of Island of the Setting Sun, which I call Balor Strand, or Balya Strand, it was said that to have run all the way along the coastline of Louth, from Dundalk in the north to along the coast to Drogheda in the south, only being broken where the range of hills called Slieve Bra breaks into the sea, and that is where Clogherhead is. And of course, you'll know that I have a particular interest in Clogherhead, because that's apparently where the stones of Newgrange were sourced from. So essentially, the range of hills runs all the way to the coast and juts out into the sea a little bit at Clogherhead, and the hill at Clogherhead and the head itself. Basically, around the head, there's no beach. They're cliffs, they're rocky cliffs. So the beach is essentially broken. It runs all the way down the modern coastline of Louth, but is broken at Clogherhead for the cliffs, and then it starts again and runs as far as the Boyne River, where the Baltray stones are located. Appears to have included all the hilly part of Louth, which indeed is actually true. And then onwards on our journey around the country to various places that are important. I see one there. Sheenachton. And some of us are very familiar with Sheenachton, and some of us maybe not so much. Sheenachton. Let me just make sure I have it right. Yep. Also, Lecht Mac Laura, on the Slieve where Boan the Boyne rises. And what that means is Lecht Mac Laura, which I presume is the burial place of the sons of Laura, on the Slieve, which is the Irish for a hill or a mountain, where Boan rises, on the hill where the Boyne River rises. And you can see all the sources there, and there are a terrific number of sources. Thus, Sheenachton is on the hill of Carberry in County Kildare, on which the Boyne springs from Trinity Well, also Dún Nechtan and V Segish. What's that word for? Short for? It basically means refer also to Shagas. Vidya, V-I-D-E, Vidya Segish. also refer to Segish. So Sheenachtan was apparently the name of the hill from which the Boyne rises, which is at Carbery in County Kildare. And I know that one or two of the regular viewers of Mythical Ireland are familiar with that location. Luke Tracy says the name Moriarty is an anglicised version of the Irish name O'Murchartig, which originated in County Kerry in Ireland. O'Murchartig, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, can be translated to mean navigator or seaworthy, which is very interesting because my own name, Murphy, means sea warrior. That's fascinating information, Luke, and thank you for sharing it. Juju B, who is June, says much better audio on YouTube than on Facebook. Interesting. Good. And Margaret says I was looking at it on Google Earth the other day. And onwards we shall go to Segish while we are on that trail. And Segish is on page 594 of the printed version. Now there are different Segishes. There are the Curlew Hills near Boyle in County Roscommon. There's the Segish, which is near, which I think is a stream, yes, which flows near the previous Segish, again in County Roscommon. But the one we're interested in is the third entry, if you're following on the PDF. Also, the Boyne in the Shee, i.e. Sheenachtan, where it rises from Tiprit Segsha. Now, Tiprit is the Old Irish for Tubber, which means the well, Segsha or Segish, at Carbery Hill in County Kildare. And there's an additional reference there, the Ca Segshi over Leinsterman seems here. So at some point in later times, there was a battle involving the Leinstermen at Segish, which is interesting because I never knew that. The volume output is always higher in YouTube when compared to Facebook, says Paul. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, I just keep trying to hit see more and I can't. Katrina's some interesting information there. The lightning flash of a skein of one of the warriors of Naas, which was close by. It appears that somebody was killed there by being hit by lightning. There you go. Don't stand on a hill during a thunderstorm. Try and get off it. And onwards from there, we are going to a place that you should be very familiar with, and we've done an episode on, is Cnova. In this case, spelled C-N-O-F-A-D-B-A. But of course, because of lenition, would be pronounced Cnova, not Knodba or Knodba, as you might read it. What page is that? 278. Cnova. I don't know what page that is in the PDF, but if you just, in the PDF, when you have your PDF open, all you need to do is Control F and type in CN O-F-A-D-B-A. Now, you know how to get a fada on one of the letters is you use Alt-G-R. If you use the Alt-G-R key, hold that down and type your vowel. You will get the vowel with a fada on it. I hope that makes sense. And there are quite a lot of manuscript references there, aren't there? In Meath, formerly the Lordship of O'Dovoin. Cnova Breg, which basically means it's in the plain of Breg, or the aforementioned Bra plain. In my Bra, or my Bray. Bray, I think it's pronounced, isn't it? Bray. Re Cnovi, the cave of, in the annals of Ulster, and that probably refers to the cave that was plundered by the Danes or the Vikings, which is mentioned in the annals of Ulster and in the annals of the Four Masters. In Dianad Anium Cnova, Chirna Breg August Cnova, south of Naula and Belloc Collier Mora Lu, Ishnak Mije Cnova is called Tlachta is Tower To Cnova agus Druchad Áha in the Four Masters. FM is the Annals of the Four Masters. And of course, Cnova and Druchad Áha would be mentioned because they're in very close proximity to each other. And Margaret Kiernan says, "Great news, Ria the Fada." Yes, I'm not sure if you knew that. Yvette Tillema is saying on the iPad, hold down on the vowel. Yes, and indeed, when you're typing on Facebook on a phone, if you hold down the vowel, the version with the Fada on it should appear. So hopefully that will help you. And Katrina has the alt codes if you have a side number pad. So thank you all for helping out on that. Ca Cnova, also Ca Boine, the Battle of the Boyne. Cnova na Coan, also Cnoc Coa near Clechach and Brunabonia. And I mean, this is the point about if Nouth is near Clechach, then it makes sense, doesn't it, that Clechach is near Nouth and therefore very close to Brunabonia, not at Stacallan Bridge, which is miles away, you know. Cnoc Bua, Cnoc Bea, where Bui, sister of Naas, is buried. And Naas, N-A-Fada-S, is the sister who gives her name to Naas, N-A-A-S, in County Kildare. But the other sister, Bui, who may be a variant of Cailleach Bui, is buried at Cnova. And I have a chapter on that in my book about Mythical Ireland. In Cnova, also a Grange of Mellifont. 1178, and of course one of the Granges, New Grange, and although in this case the Mellifont, the Cistercians did not give Nouth a new name, but the name of New Grange was given to it because it was one of the Cistercian Granges. I wonder what is. I momentarily don't know what Ab is in the print version. AB. Does anybody know what that is? And it's not even given. So there you go. I don't know what that is. But is that in the PDF version? After Cnova, a Grange of Mellifont, AB 1178. Does anybody know what that is? Nouth Mound and Nouth House and New Grange are in Monk Newtown parish. 2 3/4 miles northeast of Slane, County Meath. So there you go. That is Nouth. Onwards we go to a mysterious one. So if I said to you, Achul Aldi, A-C-H-A-D-A-L-D-A-I, would you have any clue what I'm referring to? Here we go. This is an interesting one now. Achul Aldi. Now, Achul appears in many place names, and indeed there are something like 6 or 8 pages of Achu something here. It's about 5 or 6 pages, beginning with Achu in Onomasticon. And that is because it means field. So the field of something or the field of someone, you know. Achu Conera, for example, Achu Chail, Achu Bai, Achu Banach, Ahavana in the barony of Ballinacor, County Wicklow. So there you go for an example. Does anybody know? I'm going to give you a few seconds. Does anybody know, without looking it up, what is Achul Aldi a reference to? You should know this if you're very well learned and remember a lot of small details. But the chances are you've either never heard of it or it rings vague bells in your head somewhere and you don't know. And that's entirely understandable. Not Aldi, the shop, says Roisin O'Connor. Lawrence, no, it's not Aldi. It's Aldi, A-L-D-A-I. Anyway, I'll put you out of your misery. I'm not seeing any comments. There's nobody coming immediately up on the screen with the information. Hang on till I see if any of the YouTubers have it. Philip Blair is saying hello from Washington State in USA. Fáilte, Philip. Maynooth meaning, please, says Martin Smith. Okay, hang on, I just need to take a note of that because I have my little list to get through, and then I'd be only too happy to go. Maynooth, I know the Irish for Maynooth is Mog or Mai Nuad. And I always thought that was the plain of Nuadu, but I think I'm wrong about that. It sounds like a sneeze, says Philip. Achu Aldi. No, it appears that I don't think anybody's coming up with the answer. Well, Achu Aldi is the Cave of Newgrange, County Meath. And that is from O'Donovan, the Ordnance Survey. Near Nouth and Douth. Uiv achi aldi, agus knovi, agus fert boadan os doad, agus manana gowan, rifled by the Danes. And that is AU 372, and that is from the Annals of Ulster. Let me translate that. I can actually translate that whole section. Uiv achel aldi, agus knovi, agus fert boadan, agus doad, agus manana gowan, rifled by the Danes. Now, this is in the 9th century. Can't remember the exact year. It's something like 830 or 837 or something like that. It's in some of my books. This is from the Annals, where it says that the cave of Acho Aldi and Nouth and the cave of the grave of Boadan under Douth and the cave of Manon Gowan, which is the wife of Gubon or Gowan, or the Gubon Ser, as we might call him, rifled by the Danes. And an alternative in the Annals of the Four Masters is Uav Acho Aldi, he Mugdorni Mayan, Uiv Knovi, Uiv Fert Boadan, I Boachal Elkmar, Os, Doat, agus Mana Gabond or Gawand, Eg Drechet Oha, which basically says the same thing. The cave of Acho Aldi in Modorni Mayan, which is the same as the plain of Bray. Oim Knovi, the cave of Nouth. Oim Fert Boadan I Bochel Elkmar Os Doat. And that translated, Katrina's I'm sure watching me like a hawk. If I'm not mistaken, the cave of the grave of Boadan, and when it says Imochel Elkmar, that is the shepherd of Elkmar, Os Duat, under Duat. Agus Mana Gawand Eg Drihadaha. Now, that is the wife of Gubon, or Gawan, the Gubon Ser, who's believed to be a medieval continuation or survival of an earlier Irish deity called Gobnu or Goinu. Now, I did some research recently trying to find out if this wife... I'm doing stories of the Gubon Ser these days, Oscalia. Katrina, can you help me with this? Have you found anywhere any evidence of what the hell the Gubon Ser's wife was called? She doesn't get a name in any of this. She's only referred to as being the wife of somebody. I'd love to know if she has a name. So help us perhaps with that one if you can. So Achu Aldi is actually another name for Newgrange. Now we're going on to one that we had last night. Clue, C-L-I, Fada, U. Shall I give you a clue? Terrible joke. Sorry, I won't do that again. Clue, and Margaret Ring will be interested in this one. Clue, which we saw last night, is the genitive cliach, C-L-I-A-C-H, not cliach. Clue in Maya. And that is south of the Shannon. Reached Loch Derg. Fiacha Mullithan gave Clue as far north as Loch Jerrickirk to Carpra Finmore Macu Musque, Poeta Regius, there's even Latin in there, and also Creek Ara Farclora, blah, 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 blah. And the reason we're interested in this, and I'm going to get to it now, sorry for the waffling. Also, Nadesha, Bail Nadesha, Nisi, in the barony of Coshley and Small County, WES. Bruna Daisha. This was in Daisha Beck, which I presume is Beck is Biog or Small Daisha, which as Creachna Daisha Bicca is equated with Clue. Small County as of 9,248 acres and contains the conspicuous and most fertile hill of Knockany and Monaster na Háine, also Monaster na Maya. I didn't realize that Margaret Ring will help us with this one. because this is her area of interest. Monaster na Háine. I didn't know there was a monastery of Áine down there. Perhaps you may help us with more information, Margaret. Northeast of Éine are the village and parish of Hospital, designated in the old records as the Hospital of Éine. In other words, Áine, in the barony of Small County. Donach Mór Maya Áine is Donachmore Parish, or Donamore Parish, 2.5 miles southeast of Limerick City, and in the barony of Clanwilliam, the only Donamore in County Limerick. Loch Gur Townland is in the parish of Éine, A-I-N-Y, which again is the anglicisation of Áine. Caherhussock Parish in the barony of Small County in Éine, D-R-Y, whatever that is the abbreviation for. Cluan Áine Parish in the barony of Pubblebrian. Cluan Annie in 1418, Clon Annie in 1291. Arda Cleach was near and east of the city of Limerick and extended to the east of Figente, separated from it by the river Saur, S-A-M-A-I-R, which basically means Morning Star River, which is very, very interesting. And I'm going to actually have to take a little note because I didn't notice that earlier today when I was reading it. So there's a river called Saur, S-A-M-A-I-R. I presume that's lenited, S-A-M-H-A-I-R. Morning Star River. And of course, I'm not going to mark the book. I'm just going to mark it on one of these little sticky thingy-yokamy buzzers. And I'm going to stick it to the bottom of the book and let it just hang out over the page so that I can go back to that later and take more notes of it. That's very interesting. So you can see how, I mean, it's so comprehensive. There's actually the best part of 2 pages about Clio. And even with the abbreviations, it's still quite lengthy. But if you're a scholar and you're trying to find out the sources of information about a place, I mean, this is just so comprehensive. And one wonders what Hogan did to collate this information in an era long, long before computers and the internet, etc., etc. And in an era when, in fact, the typewriter was around in the early part of the 20th century. But just one wonders how much and how much of this was written down and indexed on cards, etc. And what a gigantic index of places that Hogan must have amassed during his lifetime to assemble such a remarkable piece of work. Katrina has information here. The Morning Star is a little river which flows westwards through rich farmland, through Bruff and Ahlaca to join the Mayu. Is it Maigu or Mayu north of Brewery? Very interesting. Don't leave the sticky tab in for weeks. Some of them can stain the page. Thanks for that, Rowan. I will definitely not do that then. Áine is associated with Venus, says Margaret. I would like to hear more about that, Margaret, and your sources for that. Feel free to send me an email, and I know I greatly appreciate your help on other matters lately. Okay, let's move on. We're going to briefly mention a place that's mentioned in Táimbo Cúilge. You'll have perhaps encountered the section where Maeve's army, which is coming east from Rathcrán, to head to Cooley, where they first encounter the armies of the Ulstermen amassed before them. Well, they're at Shlawan Mia, or Schleman Mija, as you might say it without the lenition. Morning Star is Venus. Yes, I knew that bit, of course, Scott, thank you. But I just wonder what the connection is that says that Áine is the Morning Star. Yeah, so there's a hill upon which they're standing, and they see the array of the warriors of the Ulster army. So if you wanted to know where that hill was, Shlawan or Sleman, as you might read it without the lenition, Shlawan Mia is repeated 34 times in TW. To say it's TW Toyn something. This is the worst part, is having to go back every time. You know, what is TW? It's not actually listed in his... yeah, I'm not sure what TW is. Is it given there in the PDF version? Let's see. I'll do a search. Can take a while for the search because it has to go through the 2,943 digital pages. Anu in Egyptian is the star goddess. Come on, find it. Here we go. 34 times in Windish, Windisch, comma, TBC. Toynbee Cúilge. Okay, so it's obviously this particular translation of Toynbee Cúilge, or this particular recension manuscript version of Toynbee Cúilge. Schlauen Mia, Koschlauna Mia, called Bellum Schlenia in blah 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 blah. In the Battle of Schlauen in Westmeath, Carber MacNeil defeats the Leinstermen. Okay, that's a different battle. In the Battle of Schlauen in Meath, Colman Rivia was victor. Now, but where is it? If this slain is Schlauen, then Maeve and Connor pitched their camps 13 miles from each other. Maeve was at Clorha, now Clara, from which, in case of defeat, she could retreat into her territory by the ford of Athlone, 15 miles away. Conchobar says the Táin, was northeast of her on a tulloch in Schlauen, 25 miles from Athlone. Maeve's scout describes the arrival of 34 companies on a tulloch. In Shin Tully means on a hill, as in Aunmi is a single woman. And that is from TW27. The Ulster host could not find room on one hill, but in or near Slane, Moor and Beg, big and small, is Belvedere Demesne, 3 miles southwest of Mullingar. Quote, the house in which is perched on the crown of a very beautiful little hill, half surrounded with others, little hills, variegated and melting into one another. It is one of the most singular places anywhere to be seen, and spreading to the eye a beautiful lawn of undulating ground margined with wood. If this was not the camping ground of Conchobar on the east bank of Loch Ennell, it must be on the banks of Loch Slevin. Loch Schlauna, Slemhna, 5 miles further north, and in the parish of Mullingar, i.e. Schlauen of the Manor of Four. And I fancy that this is the place. The site of the Battle of Goedelicum must be in the triangle formed by Mullingar, Clara, and Athlone, perhaps a Curris town, also Belmount townland in the parish of Mullingar, or Core House near Ishnach. However, as the Uli marched west to the fight, not southwest on the way to Athlone, Clara may be the Clare townland in the parish of Kildare near Ishnach, and Core House north of Ishnach may represent Gairach. So even there you can see how complicated it gets. But you can see where even the scholars aren't sure where the places are. Because you see, what happened, particularly in the 19th century, and particularly with the famine, is that people got dislocated from the places they lived. And when they were evicted from their properties, when the landlords came along and wanted to, set up their big estates, quite often what happened is where there are very big estates, where mass evictions took place, you lose all of the distinct connections with those places and the traditions of those places. And of course, the famine was a great event in terms of removing people from their places. And a lot of people died and a lot of people emigrated. So the traditions of those places were kind of lost, And even down to Brunabonia, where there are names for all of the monuments in the Dinchanicus, but we forget a lot of those, especially for the smaller monuments, because those traditions, the local people who carried on those traditions, aren't around anymore, and the traditions weren't continued into the 20th century. Okay, I'm just cautious of... Lucy Robinson says, missed tonight's episode, but then I usually miss the latter part of the sesh. Winding my way slowly through all the episodes and learning so much. Thank you. Fault you, Lucy. Lovely to have you along, and good to hear that you can catch up on them all. I just wanted to make sure Katrina is from that area, so she would know Mullingar is a town. Darn perishing. The jealous wall is interesting. Sloan at the elm. So, shamrock means tree leaf. Oh, sorry, in Old Egyptian. Ochu filek. Okay, I'm not sure that I've missed anything that anybody was trying to interject with. If there are any more suggestions for the end of the episode for places. Oh, better move on. The next one, you'll know, and I won't dwell on this one because we're going to have an episode soon about Enoch Talchin, but the next one is Talchu. Townland and parish in Meath. The latter is our Talchu, as it is in Meath. A hill in Meath. Also, Knuck, Talchin, Ingana, Mymore. It is near the river Shele, S-E-Fada-I-L-E, which is the Blackwater, and near Downach Patrick, or Donapatrick, which occupies a pleasant site on the river Blackwater. It joins the townland and parish of Telltown and is 4 miles northwest of Navan. North of Duchomar at Navan. The 3 high gatherings of Era were Dal Ushni at Bialtana. There we go, folks. There is the mention of it. Dal Ishni. Dáil being the Dáil, the modern Dáil is the Irish Parliament. The gathering of Ishnach at Bialtana, Enoch Talchin at Lunasa, Lamastide, and Fesh Chaurach at Samhain. So there you go. The 3 high gatherings of Ireland were the gathering of at Bialtana at Ishnach, the Enoch or assembly of Telltown or Talcha at Lunasa, and Fesh Chauro or the festival of Tara at Samhain. And again, just want to, not that I didn't know that, but I just want to actually just carefully note that. Which I will do so after the episode. I will take a careful note and remove these sticky things that can cause damage to the books. King Diarmait said, "Come thou to the great gathering of Talchu, in order that, all Era being witness, I yield thee up my sovereignty. Talchu's games are played, its races run. Feats of horsemanship were performed there. To the left of the road from Kells to Donapatrick is Lie on Enoch, the hollow of the fair. Lag. Log, is it log or lie? Log on Enoch, the hollow of the fair. There are a large earthen rath and other remains. Till recently, Telltown was resorted to by the Meath men for hurling, wrestling, etc. One of the chief burial places of the Uli, or the Ulstermen, which is very interesting. And we shall just tarry a little bit on the subject of Enoch, O-Fada, I-N-A-C-H. And this is on page 558 of the printed version. Enoch glost theatrum spectaculum, or a circus. And didn't we, when we had the episode about Dronehenge. And of course, Dronehenge was part of Enoch in Broga, which was the assembly of Brunabonia, which I believe to have been a very, very, very substantial gathering in the late Neolithic. The 3 Eniga of Erin are Enoch Talchin, Enoch Croachan, and Enoch Colmoin. And that's from BB 42A. BB, yes, I should have bloody known. The Book of Ballymote, of course. On Enoch, Nina, County Tipperary, a market town in Lower Ormond. Ca on Enoch. So Nina gets its name from the Irish word Enoch, as in an assembly place. But just a few more to go. Chower, T-E-M-A-I-R, page 629. And of course, all of you will know that, I'm sure, except perhaps 1 or 2 of the newest newcomers. We mention it on almost every episode. Chower, the Latin temoria and genitive chemro or chero show the old NS was chower, T-E-M-U-I-R, written T-E-A-M-U-I-R in BD4 and in LS, etc., etc. And of course, chower is the Moor or the rampart of Cha, and we're going to do an episode on Queen Cha. Tara Hall in the parish of Tara, County Meath. No room here and now for over 200 references to it and its palaces and rats, of which only traces remain. And of course, that is the Hill of Tara, which is a very, very famous place here in County Meath. Coleman of Lynn in Mullingar. Are you trying to find out about? We'll maybe catch up on that one later, Katrina. Maybe we can correspond about that if you're asking me a question. Coleman of Lynn Mullingar ? I'm not sure what you're asking. Hurling at last mentioned. Games, running horses. Yes. Einach Talchin at Talchu. Thanks, Katrina, for helping with all those references. I'm not going to try and murder the spelling there. Aaron says, the funny thing about Irish place names is, and even deity names, is that you find sometimes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different versions of their spelling. It's so funny. Czech Duin was the last one I had on my list. And again, this pertains to Lower Gawala, Aaron, where the Milesians are coming to take Ireland from the Tuatha De Danann, and Dunn wants to take it by force, and then he ends up being drowned off the southwest coast. Czech Duin in Corca Duine in Kerry, named by the peasantry to one of the 3 islands called the Bull, the Cow, and Calf off Dursey Island, south of Kenmare Bay, which I think is very interesting. The bull, the cow, and the calf. And I immediately think of Taurus, and I think of the moon and Venus when I think about the bull and the cow and the calf. Dunn was drowned at the Docha called Czech Duin. And that's from the Yellow Book of Lecan, and also FIR, F-I-R 96, which is, again, excused to the front of this wonderful volume, which is MacFirbis' book of genealogies, written in 1650 to 1666. Wow. And O'Curry's transcript in the Royal Irish Academy. Of course, Eugene O'Curry, another of those great scholars that should have been included in earlier's list. O'Curry thinks it is in the harbour of Smerwick, and the old name for the headland of Brandon Hill, Czech Duin. And of course, there's a cave under the island there where the sun, on the shortest day of the year, the sun shines beneath this cave that runs through this small island, right through this island, and can be seen then from the mainland. The sun sets into this island and the light shines through Czech Duin, doesn't it? I think so. Anyway, somebody asked me about the name of Maynooth, which I think is Magnuad, Magnuad, and I'm going to look that up. Of course, there are several pages of my something, because a lot of Irish place names have in the Moytura, for instance, the Battle of Moytura. Magnuad. Let's have a look here for the old name for Maynooth. Magnuadat. Magnuadat, between the Ria, or for the GE, and Nos or Nace. Ibalia Irla Killa Dara. Magnuad, Nuaad in LC. Is that no, that's not Lecan, isn't it? Because that's LEC. Let me see, what's that from? Of course it doesn't say. LC, Annals of Luck K, edited Hennessy. Where was I? Maynooth. Mainoth. Mainoth. And that's in GR 76. What's GR? The Grace's Annals of Ireland, edited by Butler. And spelt Mainoth, Maynoth, in 1216 in SW, which is Sweetman's Calendar of Irish State Papers from the years 1171 to 1250. You see, it may be difficult to troll through this stuff, but if you really want to get all of the sources, you have to follow all these little tangents, and you will get them. Although there wouldn't seem to be a huge amount in relation to Maynooth, there are a few references. My Luadat in Downach Mór Maya Nuad. Yeah, so my Nuadat. And I wonder, because it doesn't really say, is this Nuadat? Is this a personal name? Is this the name of a king? Is this somebody who has the name Nuadu or Nuada? So let's see what Joyce says about Maynooth as to where it gets its name. Of course, you can look all this up on lugonium.ie, which is the place names database online. And that is, I was going to say traceable, searchable. Maynooth. Yes, tonight's episode was a little bit sort of technical, wasn't it? And that's sometimes what you have, what one hand. Maynooth is not even here. So if it's not in volume 3 of Joyce, that means that he has dealt with it at length in one of his earlier volumes. And again, Joyce's 3 volumes of place names are available as PDFs to download if you want to follow it up. Perhaps somebody on here knows the Nuad or the Nuadu from Maynooth, who gives his name to Maynooth. And if so, maybe you might help us. And while I'm here, I will search for it on Lugonium. Let's have a look, see what it says. So in the search bar, Maynooth, search, Townland Electoral District Town, yes, Mynuad, Maigh-Nuad. Now let's have a look at the scanned records and the text records. Mynuadad, Nuadhad or Nuadhat, but it doesn't say. It just gives the variance of its name. It doesn't. I'm just trying to find out who the Nuad is. Does anybody know? Nuada was one of the gods of the ancient Irish. Yes, I know, because we mentioned him, Katrina. Like, Nuadu is the king of the Tuatha Dé Danann during the first and second battles of Moytura. But I just wasn't sure that this was the place connected with the same Nuadu, because I think there are other Nuads or Nuadus or Nuadas. That's why I was asking. Of course, I can't find it there now. It's always when you're looking for something. Always when you're looking for something, you can't find it. Yeah, it would appear to me that it's Nuadat or Nuadat, which relates to a person's name. But whether that person is the Nuada of the Danans, I actually don't think it is. And I'm not exactly sure why, but I have this sort of vague memory of looking this up before and finding out that it is the same Nuadu, says Katrina. Wow, brilliant. Well, that's great. That's great news. So Maynooth, the plain of Nuadu. I didn't know that. What I'm learning. Doesn't say it, or I can't extrapolate it from the information here, which is all handwritten from the post office, which is where a lot of these place names were recorded, was in the local post offices. Nora Gaffney O'Connor says, enjoying tonight immensely, really interesting, with fab twists and turns, tracing back names, etc. Well done, you're playing a blinder. I didn't realize I was. I thought maybe people were getting a little bit, I thought that might have been a little bit frustrating for you. It's nice, of course, that you have the PDF version that you can follow along. And there's also, in the links I shared today, there's a browsable version online where you can just click on the letter of the alphabet for a name. So for Maynooth, you could click on M for Mynuad and follow the entries that way yourself, or download the PDF. Absolutely invaluable work. And as I said, the wonderful thing about the PDF is that they have lengthened out some of the abbreviations. Coda's barking. What is it this time, young pup? He hurt his paw yesterday, by the way. During last night's episode, we heard him barking, and then everything was really quiet. And as soon as I finished broadcasting last night, one of my children arrived at the door to say Coda was hurt, that the twins were out walking him, and that he'd suddenly started whimpering and wouldn't stand on his front left paw. So I went off in the car as soon as we finished last night to go and pick him up. But the two ladies, my wife and my eldest daughter, had managed to coax him home, and he was grand. I mean, he actually still is a little bit tender on it today, but most of the time he's in good form. So I don't know exactly what happened. So there you go. You might have seen the picture of him earlier, standing on the table in the garden. Ramsey always intrigues me. I have lots of both in my family. The Egyptian Ramesses, which means Ra, sun god at a certain time of day, and Moses, Moshe, meaning heir to, which is linked to the Messiah, meaning anointed one. So Ramsey, Ra Moshe, is a strange one, but that's not. I don't think is that an Irish name, Ramsey? I'm not sure. Gotta run. See you later. See you, Aaron. Slán Fól. Not at all. It's fascinating, says Nora. Maybe one day we'll get to experience that. Bus trip to Maynooth isn't as exciting as Lochgur, Anya, says Paul Garron. Correct. I think Lochgur beckons, doesn't it? Queen Maeve. Logan Imnacha Gaelge na Malcha post was required in Carysfort. Glad he is not my professor. He would scowl me later, says Patrick Rowan. It's very interesting, but I don't know Irish, so a lot of the finer points are over my head. Yeah, and even I struggle with some of the Irish. Coda high, finer points, yes. What does Coda mean? Well, it's not an Irish name. Coda is Amy's dog, and she gave him his name because she liked it. So I'm not sure that it means anything. I know that coda, C-O-D-A, in music means an additional part at the end of music, an add-on, an addendum, doesn't it? Great photo of coda, says Margaret. Roisin O'Connor Lawrence says, bye. Slán, Roisin, we'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Lochgur is wonderful, says Heather Garon Rice. We got there in 2015. Brilliant. So that is tonight's episode. Onomasticon Goedelicum, or if you struggle with it, Onomasticon Goedelicum. Goedelicum. Just keep it easy. Gaelicum. Anthony, you are not supposed to see that. Okay, you're talking amongst yourselves. That's fine. That's allowed. Anyway, this has been episode 50 of Live Irish Myths. I better make sure I keep note of my plan. We're a few days away from the Bealtaine themed stuff. So we'll have Bealtaine, Ishnok, and Eru, one after the other. So in the meantime, I've got some other things to do. Oh yeah, there's plenty anyway. Don't worry. We won't run out of subjects for a good while yet. You know, definitely not. Making sure I'm not missing too much on YouTube. Philip Blair says, I wish we could all install Gaelic languages upgrade in our brains. I'm with you on that one, Philip, definitely. And Aria says, me too. That's a marvellous idea, Philip, says Daisy Peters. David Daly says, Gohanawa Arfad. It would be sure be fun to understand all the possible meanings of people and place names. Yes, and even the scholars, remember, don't always get it right. And even some of the meanings for them cannot be teased out because the meanings are probably lost to time. Can we re-institute or can we re-resurrect those meanings? Well, we can see. Alex Casterton is saying, Ihawa. Anthony, thank you again for tonight. Thank you for joining us, Alex. Always a pleasure. Dave Russell says, night, everyone. Awesome stuff. Jim Conway says, can you post your email? Yes, I can, Jim. And it is mythicalireland@gmail.com. So it's there as a comment. It should be the newest comment, or it should come up in a moment or two. Irish, Scottish, and Manx Abu, says Katrina. The Gaelic Celtic languages. Okay, so I'm saying goodnight for the moment. I'm going to go off and bring Coda in because he's actually out at the moment. Ichawa, Tua, and have a good Bealtaine Eve and day and build up if you go by the moon, says Alex. Margaret, thank you, Anthony. It's hard to trawl through the Irish names. Amazing language, got great respect for it. As have I, and as I've said recently, thanks to Katrina and others, I'm relearning and I'm re-immersing myself in the whole thing so that hopefully in the not too distant future I will be able to conch as Gaeilge. I'll be able to speak in Irish and I'll know all of these words without having to look them up. Yes, coda is the final part of a melody, sometimes repeated, says Aria. Exactly. And aria, that's aria sounds like an air. Sounds like a musical term. Luke Tracy, ha, to mean in combination to God, and sometimes with a further identification, Elohim Hayim, meaning the living God. Daisy Peters, Guramahagut, Anthony, see you tomorrow. Beautiful night to all. Kolosov, Daisy, we'll see you tomorrow. Luke Tracy, who or Hua, he is the name of God in Sufism, literally Hebrew and Arabic for the English third person. Very interesting stuff. Banachti Lev, Scott says, Banachti Oriv Golair, Slán go Fól, Agus Ihawa. We'll see you all tomorrow. I don't know, haven't a clue what the subject will be at this moment in time, but I'll decide tomorrow. And of course, as usual, look out for the post in the middle of the day announcing to the next episode, which is episode 51, if you can believe it. In the meantime, Slán go Fól, Gach Duine go Léir ar Fud an Domhain. Everyone around the world, good night and goodbye for now. And YouTubers, always that few extra seconds to say good night to you also. Call us off.